Hello, everyone. Patriot5 here in my living room. I'm sorry I didn't come back on last night like I promised you. I had about a 100-mile trip to my son, and he had even more. He was almost to St. Louis when he realized he had forgot his wallet at home. It's kind of hard to pay for hotels for 2 days. It's kind of hard to eat and to do the things that they had planned on doing with no money. So he uh, he drove by back, and I drove halfway, and he drove halfway, and I guess he was not all the way. He was about an hour and 10 minutes away from where I met him, and it took me about an hour. But coming back, I had a better trip, and it only took me about 50 minutes. But what I wanted to come on here today for was more or less to apologize. And last night, I was going to come on. It would have been pretty close to midnight. And I was going to come on because I promised you guys I would. And then I thought, you know what? Everything that I went through getting this thing set up, everything I went through to do everything. And I see we do have some people over there, Janet, Margaret, you know, thank you for coming on. But everything we went through to get this show on last night, it was just one of those situations that when my son called, and I don't usually answer my phone when my son and daughter calls, I hit, just cancel the call, and then I call him back as soon. But I knew he was on the road traveling, and I thought, what if he's got some problems? So I did, and I'm glad I did. I'm glad I was able to help him, but it allowed us to not to do the show. But all the trouble I had getting going for the show, it was like that show last night was not meant to be. Now, we talked to the children. I added two new children in who's, older people. And I just hope their mom and dad, their moms, Marianne and Linda is okay with me talking about their two boys. Because see, to me, I don't care what age is a kid. A kid is a kid. And when Linda's son, when he left to go on his journey, she was worried because the last time he went on a journey, he got a little bit on the sick side, and she'd been worrying about him. I can't get my hat on straight. Either that or my head's crooked. But that being said, it doesn't matter the age of a child. When you're a mom and a dad, once that child is born, they're your for their life. I was 48 years old the day my mom died, and she called me her baby boy. 48 years old. And the thing is, guys, it wasn't she was doing it to make me feel good. My mom thought of me like that. I still think of my daughter Amber like that. And she's 30. I'm not going to tell you how old. She's in her 30s. But it's just something that she worried, and she has a right to worry. But everything's going to be okay, and it looks like he's going to be able to get home good. And as far as Marianne's son, I mean, I'm hoping to meet Marianne someday when all this comes together. I'm hoping to meet her and discuss some things with her, but I'd like to meet her son because I've always prided myself on my mathematics skills. But I feel like from what Mary Ann, how proud she is, and she said his grandpa was the same way. I think she said her dad. People like that are rare. And remember, I'm talking about how smart he is because I want to talk about another smart guy here in just a little bit. Now, with that being said, I want to tell all the children, hi, we love you. We're doing this for you. And I never go a day that I don't pray and pray and pray for all children. But I'm not going to go into details of every child. We all know who they are. But I am going to play the music. I want to get a little drink of water. My throat's a little dry, so I'm going to play the music, and I'll be right back. If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be living here today.
where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless the USA. From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, oh, from sea to shining sea. From Detroit down to Houston, and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I'd rather stand next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA. God bless this country. And I'm proud to be an American.
Well, lots of hearts up there today. Thank you, thank you.
Next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land.
Mateo, good to see you in here today. You haven't been here for a while, have you? Maybe I've been using a system I haven't been able to see you. Yes, God bless the USA. Proud to be an American, as you can tell by my colors. A little kid looked at me yesterday when I picked my grandkids up at this park for the school buses and that. And he looked at me and says, Papa Ralph. And I said, yeah, or Papa Mr. Anderson. They call me all different things, but it's usually Papa. He says, why do you wear so much red, white, and blue? And I looked at him and I said, because I'm proud to be an American. Now, this was a kid who was probably Liam's age, 9 or 10 years old. And he looked at me and he says, you know, my daddy was in the Army and he says the same thing, that he's proud to be an American. And I said, well, I'd like to meet your daddy. So I'm sure that he went home and told his dad that Papa Ralph wants to meet him. Before I go any further, I do want to discuss something. And Linda, I've got my steps in. I've kept my feet elevated this morning a little bit, and I've taken my medicine. So if I don't write you until later this afternoon, Linda gets in touch with me every day, guys, and reminds me to take my medicine and do my walks and that. And last month in September, I completed a 30-day trial where I walked 1 million steps in 30 days. Backed off a little bit this year, this month. My goal is only 500,000, and I'm well ahead of pace on the first 4 days. When I was talking about smartness just before I played the music, when I was talking about someone being very smart, we always heard all along that the T-man, you know, he's 10 times smarter than anybody else, and he's all these moves ahead of everybody. But I got thinking, if he's, and this was a talk, that's what I really wanted to talk about last night, because I had a major talk with God yesterday about this, if If he's 10 steps ahead, and this is a movie, and it's already been played out, we're just seeing the replay because we have to wait people's eye, open our eyes. How do you open up people's eyes when you let them go and cause these man-made storms? These storms that children are floating down the river. They were tied to trees to try to keep them from being swept away. The trees broke, and now they got branches that they're carrying along. How do you portray a story? How do you let it happen? We keep hearing the masked president. He says it all the time. We keep hearing who he is all the time. But if our man is so smart, why is it whenever we get close, it's always, well, we had a little bit of a kickback. There was 50 bankers that we had to take care of. Well, they're in excuse-itis. If excuses was diarrhea, he'd have crapped his pants many times during this journey. But then is what's even more sadder, because these things are happening. But we can't stop believing, guys. Just remember that. We can't stop. We're going to get aggravated. And that's what these shows are great about. We can come in here and you guys can chat. We can come in here and, I see that Margaret's in here. That, there's not a lot today. And I didn't expect a lot. But it's going to be up all weekend. And I hope it's promoted enough that the people who normally see it sees it. But, I mentioned Margaret. Margaret is working constantly to get things. And a lot of the things she gets, I can't talk about because a lot of them are the children, or they're actually videos that play and I can't play them because of what's going on. But there's so much stuff. And a subject, when I was getting ready to do the show today, and I hope you like the clarity of the show on the laptop, because to me, it looks like it's a lot clearer. So I could use some thumbs up if it is. Wow, thank you, Janet, for sharing that. You guys read Janet's post about her husband is a math genius and received the chancellor highest level grade, the best of the class. Well, congratulations. You tell him congratulations from Patriot5 and Patriot6. So I was asked the other day who I was going to be voting for. Well, number one, whatever happened to your vote was your vote. Isn't that why they have them booths that you go into? Isn't that why they have the booths we go into so no one can see? And when you come out, you put it in the box and the people don't see it until last election when they decided to make everybody's, what's your name? And I tell them my name. Well, whoever I voted for, they was going to put a vote in there, another one to offset it for who. But when they asked me, I says, I'm going to vote for the hat. Well, why ain't you voting for Dopey? And I said, I think you said it just perfect. I've never seen in my life, and I've met a lot of people, because I'm the type of person, I talk to anybody, anywhere, anytime. All the time I talk to people. And I've never seen anybody in my life that is so evasive that they're able to pull off the ultimate, that they never answer a question. Question. Madam VP, if and when you are elected, what's going to be the first thing you do on day one to make America better? That's a very good question. And I'm going to give you the answer, but let me start here. I grew up a middle-class woman. I grew up a middle-class woman that my mom worked to the bone to keep a house over our head. Now that really, really upsets me because she hasn't a freaking clue. And boy, if this was not some kids on here, I would not have said frickin' there. She has not a freaking clue of what it's like to grow up and not know if you're going to have a roof over your head. But my mom worked hard, 2 jobs. She was a nurse. They worked double shifts so they can have 3 days off in a row. And I know I'll never cut a nurse down. I won't. But there's a difference working 3 12s. I know I worked them for a long time. I'm not a nurse. I like to play doctor sometimes. Had to put that one in there. You know, it's good when you can tell a joke and make yourself laugh. I don't know if any of you guys heard it. I don't know if you guys laughed, but I thought it was funny. But anyway, moving on. She was a nurse. Her dad was a professor. He wrote, 10 books that sold a lot. And she wants to talk about middle class. But let's not forget, she worked at that place that does very, very bad things to their food. And she's proud of it. And that's what's the story she would tell you. Wait a minute. You still haven't answered the question. What are you going to do on your first day? So the next question for this lady, Madam VP, you've had almost 4 years to fix the border. You've had almost 4 years to do all the things that we're hearing, not from you, you're going to do, because we never get an answer from you. I mean, isn't it amazing when Sleepy looks smart compared to Dopey? At least you would get a answer from him on occasions. But what are you going to do about the border? Well, you know, that's a good question. Let me start here. The border, everybody has to have one. But what is wrong with people coming into the country? Well, if it's illegal, it's against the law. Plain and simple. But don't you think they deserve the happiness that we can give them in the United States? Happy? What happened to the hundreds of thousands of children that come across the border that are unaccountable for now? Is that, you think they're happy? I don't. And she says, we will fix the border. But you know the hat didn't do a thing with the border. What? Are you bleeping kidding me? Listen to her talk. It's either about her childhood growing up, where she was, where she's an African American because her mom is Indian and her dad is Jamaican, and there is no proof. And if you don't believe me, that lady that used to be on Fox News, Megyn Kelly, is it? I think that's her name. I know her first name's Megan. But that lady there literally did a video the other day. It was on TikTok, that she has the proof that her grandparents are not African American. But she's black when she wants to be black. She's white when she wants to be black. White. She's a Southern Belle when she wants to be. Why would anybody vote for this lady? But I'm proud to be an American, and everybody has the right to do what they want. Just don't yell at me when I don't do what you want me to do. I know everybody here is voting a good color, this color. Oop, I didn't mean to do it that way. Looked like I was flipping you guys off. I'm not. Oh, I must not be doing a good show. We were up to 34. 3 people left. So I'm done covering Cousin It and Ding Dong. As aggravated as I get with a hat, and I have been aggravated here lately. Some guy came on TikTok and said he was Elon. Started following me, so hey, I followed him back. He asked me about myself. I told him I was a patriot. I told him what I did. Come back and told me he went and watched a couple of our videos. He's very impressed with our group. For some reason, he was able to get the group chat up when the video is going on. I can't. When I go back to watch it, he did. He said he was impressed at listening, and he asked me what it meant, the hat, who that was. And so I explained to him all of our terms. And he said, I'm really proud of you. And then we went 2 or 3 days, and I never talked to him. He comes back late 2 or 3 days later. And I said, I got a question for you. And he says, what's that? And I says, the hat? We don't have to call him that here. And I mentioned him by the real name. He said, yes, I do. I said, have him call me. Have him message me so we can talk. We can talk on any of the sites. But I got some things I'd like to say to him because, quite frankly, he's wanting to open the eyes of the people whose eyes are closed. And right now, he's having too much fun and he's dragging his feet so much that he's losing. People are closing their eyes again. So there you go. The last thing I'm going to discuss on this here before I go into the information I got for today. The last thing I'm going to discuss is, I forgot. Oh, as I was posting on a few of the places that I was going to go live today, I went into Signal and I noticed that John and some people were talking. They were talking about fake currencies. My question is, who told you that your currencies might be fake? And they might be. But from what I'm hearing, as long as you bought them and you have proof that you bought them, they're going to honor if they're fake or not. And from what I'm hearing, the ZIM, if they're fake, but you bought them and you have the proof. And even if you don't have the proof, from what I'm understanding, and I've seen a couple videos on this over the past, before all of this stuff started coming down, which we knew it was coming. We knew there was going to be a lot of negativity coming out because they're trying to diverse us to look the other way. And they're doing it. No matter how many shows I do, know how many times I tell you guys, don't believe the crap. I keep reading, you're believing the crap. That's okay. Crap can be shoveled up and we can get rid of it. So all I'm going to tell you is just prepare yourself to go. And how do you prepare yourself to go? Ask Sue. Right, Marianne? Just ask Sue. Sue's got so many golden bundles. They made a lot of money. And, it upsets me because, I don't like people to take money, and it really aggravates me. What aggravates me more is the other night, I think Bruce's call. The whole call was 1 hour and 18 minutes, starting with the beginning, the introductions, the praying to call in and the praying to call out. And everything they did was 1 minute and 18 seconds. And 1 minute and 8 seconds on Ron's, or right at a minute or something, Bruce and Bob only had 18 minutes. Sue had the rest of the time. And I mean, I don't know Sue. She might be the sweetest woman in the world. But the one thing I can get from listening to Sue is she ain't never going to have to worry about someone loving her because she has plenty of love for herself. Plain and simple. But I mean, I'm not doing this to cut down, but you know, I've been following Bruce since he started. Me and Ron has listened to lots of Bruce's big calls. We've went through a lot of things. I like Bruce. I really like Bruce. But here lately, he has absolutely no information at all. None. Everything. Me and Mariana play a game and we'll see, try to figure out what he's going to talk about. And most of the time, we nail it. Now, today could be a special day because we talk about math and we talk about other things. And we talk about the fact that you know, just different things in that. And today, when I was doing some walk early in this morning to get to my goal, which I'm almost there, but as I was doing some of this stuff, I was in a situation where the clock that's right up here behind me, well, actually it's one on the TV, is different than the clock in the kitchen, which is different than my Fitbit watch, which is different than my phone, which is different than the one I got here. I had five different places I looked to see what time it was. And all five of them, I caught at different minutes and whatever, the number 1111 for the time. I caught it in the kitchen. I caught it here. I caught it, five different places. I'm thinking, wow. Now they say the number one is the angel number. They say it's the angel number. So, man, how many angels is around us today? I think we're getting close. I have taken a little bit. I got to be careful about I think we're getting close because I've been getting some nasty messages. Gee, I wonder who you think they're from. They come from people I don't know. But been getting some nasty messages from people about, you're saying it's happening. Well, you know what? It's my show. It's Ron's show. If we want to say we give a date, because not many people give dates anymore, but I'll be honest with you. I figured if we'd have to do a show on a Friday night or a Saturday night this week, Saturday morning. But, I really didn't think we'd be doing any because I really thought we'd be doing so. I want to give you my opinion on what we can do. There's going to be so much security when we go to the redemption centers. There's going to be so much security when we go to the bank. Why? Oh, that's right. They want to keep us safe. But let me run this by you. If they would get off their butt, and if they would send the senior citizens their extra money, and please don't get it to the fact that I just want money for senior citizens, because if you think that, you're not going to let me finish what I got to say. But they promise us this extra money for the how many months now? I read a letter, little lady who swore she's got it. And I have no reason. I've heard this lady talk. You can tell she's in her late 70s, early 80s, if not older. And she was so tickled. She was so happy. This isn't someone trying to throw a scam over us. This is a genuine lady who got her money, who said she was in the bank and never has seen so many older people in the bank trying to find out why they got so much money. But my question is, why isn't all senior citizens giving it? Because, see, Senior citizens' money come out, and handicapped people's money come out the first or second of the month for some people. For the rest of us, it's the first Wednesday, the second Wednesday, a third Wednesday, or the fourth Wednesday. But they're saying this is so hard to put out, but they don't have no trouble getting it out the first Wednesday, the second Wednesday, the third Wednesday, or the fourth Wednesday, or the first or second of the month. So why don't they just do that? Are they afraid of hurting someone's feelings? Because quite frankly, it hurts my feelings a lot more knowing that some people are getting it, but others aren't. See, because back when they got that money, when we got that money, then what, 2 or 3 times? The first time, me and Ron never got any. Don't know. Maybe it was because we would not comply. I don't know why. But, they give excuses. And for people who's supposed to be 10 times smarter than us, the excuses they give are really lame. They're really, really bad. Wow. Hi, Ron. Hi, Russ. That's my 2 brothers. Other than this, Russ isn't my brother. I want to wish my brother Russ and my sister-in-law Jan a happy 49th anniversary yesterday. They've been together for 49 years. And if you'd have known my brother Russ growing up, you wouldn't think he could have been with someone for 4.9 years. But he found the love of his life and he changed. So I'm going to have to speed this up because I've been rambling too much. If you want to understand why there is global genocide going on right now, the American banks have collapsed. They haven't officially announced it yet. There's what I don't understand. They've collapsed, but they haven't announced it. Yet here, now, I know as I speak, and probably the reason we only got 59 people is because we came on at a time we normally don't. But another reason is probably because I believe the hat is speaking right now. But, until he can tell me something that I want to hear, I'll just get it hearsay or listen to it on a rebound or go to TikTok because they'll be tearing him apart over there. So there was one other thing I wanted to talk about, but I don't remember what it was. Ron says this is short but good. Let's see what we got here. Naturally, okay. The collapse has begun. Patriots were watching history unfold. The elite are in chaos, scrambling to keep veil in lies intact, but it's tearing apart the truth. It's blowing wide open, and the doors of understanding are here. And then they give a bunch of channels that you could watch things on. I don't know if you guys are following the Diddy case. I'm sure everybody is. But I guess this thing is blowing wide open. It is way bigger. And last night they said 170 people have come forward. And they were showing people who participated, people who were victims, people who might have been victims. And God, it's just sickening. It's sickening. And I mean, when you stop and think, there's a gentleman that plays basketball. He's in his 40s, and the only reason he's still playing is because he's an asshole. But, you want to clean up your sport. When this man is arrested and everything comes out, this other guy, this Diddy dude, and this man comes out that wants people to believe he's the greatest basketball player ever, which he's not. Never will be, never could be. It's a crybaby. But when he comes out and talks and he says, there ain't no party like a Diddy party, is he standing there with a drink and partying it? You think he's been there? You think he's seen what he saw and he didn't say anything? But then as Candace says, Candace comes out and is ripping him apart. Why is he keeping his mouth shut? Why? Because he's probably a participant. And he probably knows that he's got a one-way ticket, certain place. And it might end with a word Mo. We don't know. We don't know. There is some really great news. I was talking last night. There's some really great news about the special beds. I was talking to someone the other day about them, and they said, "Do you really believe that we're going to be able to go back 25 years?" I said, "No." They go, "Well, why do you keep talking about it?" I said, "I don't. I never say anything about 25 years. I say I think we're going to be able to go back 30, 35, even 40. They said, depending on your age, you can go back as far. They don't want you to go. For some reason, 28 is, from what I've been seeing, is the farthest you can go back. But, you know, I have a couple nieces who I love dearly. But for some reason, God really messed with them when they were young. And they had trouble with female parts. And they can't have children. And I'm going to tell you, these two that has happened to, one of them is a godmother to the little monkey. You can't ask for a better godmother in the world. She would take, when I told her about my plans for adopting kids when we get all this money, she said, I'll adopt 5 or 6. She wants kids so bad. She's in her 40s. But what if she could go back to 28, 29? What if these beds are everything they say and she's able to have a child or 2 or heck, or 10? Who knows? The other sister is the same way. The other sister has actually taken a girl that her mother was struggling and pretty much raised her. And this girl is a freshman in high school now, and she started taking care of her and being there for her. At first, it was watching her, babysitting her, which turned into staying a night or 2 a week, which turned into staying a week or 2 at a time, which turned into she spends the whole summer there. And she's amazing with her. And it's people like this that I look for, and I think, yeah, they're real. They're going to happen. But I don't believe we can put a time frame on years, because and Ron would probably contest, Patriot6 would probably contest and tell you what I'm saying. Me and him's talked about. When we first heard about these beds a few years back, we heard about them through Jared Rand, and then all of a sudden, Jared Rand thinks that you can live forever. Because number one, we're going to be going to heaven on earth, so why not? What's the difference? But then when we started hearing about the military ones and what they're going to do, and we started hearing from people like the Hat and people like that, and they're explaining, and we know what they're going to do. One of my projects, and if you work with Patriot5 and Patriot6 humanitarian projects, one of the projects is to donate billions of dollars to build centers in every little town. And once we get them done, to use the money for research. Because as I said, we've known about them for some years. What I don't know. If I was sitting with Ron, he would probably know how many, but I'm going to say like 6 to 10 years maybe we've known about them through Jared Rand. And in that time, they went from, when we heard about with the military, they went, well, you go back 20 years to 25 years to 30 years. And now I've heard you can go back 40. So the more they're able to put into this, the more. Guys, I love life. I love life. And imagine what it's going to be when you get this kind of life and you're able to get up in the morning and you say, wow, what a beautiful day. And I don't know, I try to say that every day anyway, even if it's raining outside, because I was able to get up and get out, not open up and roll over. because I didn't want to get up because of the pain, the hurt. And these beds are going to take care of that for us. I don't know, how long have I been on? Oh, only 39 minutes. You guys must be enjoying, because I see that we got more on now, but I need to go back now, and I'm just going to read Judy. Bruce is saying, before I go any further, and Judy will probably have that, but I have two Judys to read. I think I'm just going to read the one. No, let me see what we got here. Just bear with me a minute. This is supposed to be some good reading too. This is from Junior. The final uprising begins, Patriots. This is the moment of reckoning. The lines have been drawn, and what's happened next will decide the fate of humanity. The truth they've kept hidden is erupting, and these channels are your gateway to the revelation. They can't hide anymore. We are the storm, and will wipe away their lies, and this is where we gather once. Then they just want to promote a channel. The one thing I'm going to talk to you about, the channels, we get a lot of them like that. These good reading, but then they always want to promote 4 or 5 channels. The one thing I'm seeing bad about these channels is you want to believe them. You want to think that, oh, they're great, they're great, they're great. Now click on them. And before I know it, it's the hat is setting it up for you to be very, very wealthy. Well, wait a minute. With the R and everything, we're going to be very wealthy. The senior citizens are going to, the handicap and the veterans who's handicapped are going to be very well off. You got to remember, we're going to go back to 55 prices. Think of that. I can't remember what 55 prices was because I was born in 54. But think about it. I know when I did a thing once, it was 7-1 if you go back to 70 prices. I can remember as a 10-year-old buying a candy bar for a nickel. The same candy bar today sells for $1.50. That's 30-1. Well, I don't expect for it to go 30-1, but what if it goes, let's say conservative, 10-1, which we know that is way low, but 10-1. Remember we talked the other day about the R&R money. You know, certain age is going to get 5 million, and the youngest. Then the 30 to 45 is going to get 7 million, and then the 46 to 59 or was 60, I don't remember, is going to get like 7.5 to 8 million. And then the senior citizens are going to get like 11 or 12 million. Now stop and think about it. They're worried about giving people all this money. We can't give them all that because a lot of them is just going to blow right through it. Well, wait a minute. If we're at the 55 prices and on a low thing, the spending value is 10-1. And you're the low ones and only get 5 million. That's equivalent to $50 million. How long can it take to go through that? But see, one of the main things that we got to do, and one of the main things we got to be sure of, is the fact that we do things right. And what I mean by we do things right, we're going to run all of these programs to help rebuild America, rebuild the world. You know, I'm talking to the girl in the Ukraine, and she wants to come over here when everything happens. And I'm trying to explain to her before she comes over, there's a orphanage for kids that she visits a lot, and whatever she can afford, she takes to the kids and gets some toys and gets some food and things like that. But I want her to go in and set up a group that will more or less take over this orphanage and help find every child a parent. I want to do away with all orphanages, all places where kids have to stay, the homes and that. If you go to a mom and a dad, or dad, a mom and a mom, I don't care what it is. If you go there, you don't go there because they're going to give you money to take care of this kid, and then you don't treat them right. You're going to go there because you love these kids, and on their birthday, on Christmas, on Easter, on all of these holidays, every day of the year, they're going to be loved. And that's what my goal is. But it's not just here in the United States, it's all over the world. I want every child. We're rescuing all these children. It's going to take a lot of work to find the real parents or to get them parents. We cannot sit and watch these kids suffer anymore. If for anything, if the hat just thinks, put an end to this just for the children. Don't give me no money at all. I don't care if you take care of the kids. It doesn't matter. It's taking care of them, because that is what it's about. But too many people are too freaking greedy that all they think about, well, yeah, I love the kids. I can't wait to help the kids. My goodness. It just, I had the little monkey in a store yesterday, and she says, Grandpa, can I have that? I said, sure. And I bought her. All she wanted was a little apple pie. They're 79 cents. And the little boy in the cart next to us with his mommy, about the same age, Mommy, can I have that? Can I have that? No, you can't. Why? Mommy don't have the money. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness. Now, we could have got out of there 5 or 10 minutes early, but I kept my eye on this lady. She didn't have a whole lot. I was going to use my debit card, and I had just got my pension from work, so I had a little money in there. And she walks up, and she got in front of me. And when she got in front of me, she was getting ready to pay. And I said, wait a minute, there's one more item, ma'am. You forgot this. And I threw the apple pie, and I threw another apple pie up there for her. And she said, sir, these are mine. I said, yeah, they are. I'm taking care of them. Her bill come to like $21. And I said to the lady who was taking care of her, because for some reason I decided to go and have them check me out yesterday and checking myself instead of me doing the work myself, because I wanted to help this lady. And I looked at her and I says to the lady who was checking us out, I said, don't take her money. Her money's no good. And the lady said, what do you mean? And I said, let her mosey on. I'm paying for all of her stuff today, along with mine. I didn't have much stuff of my own. I give her my card, and it paid for everything. And, it was $20. But it wasn't even the $20 that I spent for her, or 21 or 22, whatever. It was that I bought her son the apple pie. 79 cents. Guys, when you're in a store, if you can help in any, now there's some people that's too proud. I looked at the lady and I said, now, is there anything else you need? I said, I got another $20 here. If you need something else, go get it, because you ain't going to get this offer very many times. She says, no, I get paid tomorrow, so I'll be able to get my groceries I need. But she says, the stuff I had here, I just needed for dinner tonight. And I said, well, good. You enjoy your dinner and you get everything caught up. Guys, I'm not saying this because I want you guys, oh, that's so good. No, it was something that needed to be done. You help people. There's a girl that me and Ron's been helping now for a while. She's going through a terrible, terrible divorce, and her husband he should be thrown in jail for what he's doing to this young lady. So we help her, because that's what we're supposed to do. And I know we have people in our group, and anybody who needs help, I don't have a lot, but I'm willing to help anyone. Just let me know. Don't be too proud to say, hey, can you send me $20? If I got it, I'll send it. If I don't, I'll wait till I get it. Restored Republic via the GCR update as of Saturday, 5th of October, 2024, compiled by Judy Bidington, Saturday, October 2024 at 12:01. We caught them all. We have it all. We know everything. Don't fear coming events. You are safe. The 17th letter, JFK Jr. on Telegram, Friday, April 4th, 2024. It's only wise to have at least a month's supply of food, water, cash, medicine, and essential items on hand for yourself, your family, and to share with others in case of emergency. Guys, I have read this and people have asked me, they've chastised me, why do you read this every time? Because it's important for you to listen. We have a lady in our group, Trisha Patterson. We all know all the terrible things that's went through Trisha Patterson has went through. Trisha Patterson finally found something that soothed her, give her meaning again, helping people. I got a message from her the other day. She's without electricity. She's without power, but they still have the internet, so her phone was still working. She can't figure out why. But then again, there's been about 4 times here recently sitting in Ron's house. Everything goes out but the TV. Everything but our TV goes out. The lights, the internet, everything but the TV stays on. There is strange things happening right now. They're trying to open our eyes. But Trisha Patterson paid attention, and she went out, and she got plenty of food and plenty of water, and she got herself stacked up. The only thing I'm going to say is another thing you might want to do because of storms, because of power. You might want to go out and get a car charger for your phone. Trisha hasn't contacted me recently because she's using her phone very diligently to try to keep the battery juice in it so she has it just in case. But if she had a car charger, she could go on out, start her car, keep your car filled up with gas. I had to go and fill mine up today because I took a 200-mile trip last night. Keep your car filled up with gas. If you got a car charger, you can always go charge your phone there. It's just a few words, but Trisha's got plenty of food, plenty of water. Her house is safe, but keep her in prayer, but keep all the people in all these states that this terrible, terrible stuff happened to in our prayers. Judy, note in the aftermath of Hurricane Helene, there was something very strange and actually scary going on in North Carolina. Agents and Federal Disaster Relief Agency, FEMA, didn't arrive for a week after the hurricane hit, and not only neglected to start saving stranded victims, but confiscated donations, refused delivery of critical supplies, arrested and threatened to arrest people wanting to help who were in makings and rescues of their own. Now, that's the one thing I wanted to read last night, and I don't remember where I got it. So I'm not going to go back, but I do want to discuss that there. FEMA has decided now to lend everybody involved in that need it $750. And they have 1 year to pay it back, or they can seize their property. Are you kidding me? We're giving billions. We're giving billions. And does it seem funny? We're giving billions of dollars to the Ukraine. We're giving billions of dollars to other countries. We're giving millions of dollars to other people in their countries. We're doing everything for every other country. We're doing all of this. And now we're going to give a loan of $750 to people who's struggling like you've never seen struggling before. And if they don't pay it back, well, we all know they're not taking their land back. We all know that's not going to happen because we know that it'll never go that far. As I was talking this morning, No, I was talking last night. On my trip last night, going down to meet my son, I had a very good talk on the phone with Cindy. Cindy's been trying to get a hold of me. I've been very busy, and I was able to talk to her as I was driving. And she asked me, she says, what do you think about this? And I told her, I said, it's going to be over. It won't make it to the 2024 election. I don't believe. And that's what I explained to her why. Because I believe if it does, we might as well take a hike because we're done. The man himself, the head himself said, if we make it to the 2024, and I really hope he doesn't think he's outsmarted him, outwitted him, outdoing everything to him. I really hope and pray that he knows what he's doing. I really do, because I don't want to take a chance of going to this election and then they rip it off again. Because that's the only chance they have at winning. They're spending billions of dollars just to make it look like people are going to her rallies. But if you noticed at her rallies, all people are chanting for the hat. I mean, why? I think to me right now, one of the greatest lines out there is voting for her would be like crapping your pants and changing your shirt. It just makes no sense. Mainstream media naturally is not responding to any of these events. You turn TV on, you look, you can't find anything. It's like these people don't exist to mainstream media. So let's take them down. You know, we thought that Maui was bad in 2023, but Maui doesn't, as you know, candle in the wind. It doesn't hold a candle in the wind to what's going on now. All of this stuff is supposed to be for show. Don't let it bother you. But how do you not let it bother you when you know people are dying? When we know people can't come out of their house, Tricia Patterson can't come out of her house because of the situation. They talk a lot about comparing this to Maui and Judy here, and I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but, you know, it just, I truthfully, I really can't, when I can't come up with words for something, you know, it's got to be really bad, because I can talk and I might not use the right words all the time, but, you know, they're threatening people. If they come in to help rescue, they're going to throw them in jail. They're going to arrest them and throw them in jail. What is wrong? Okay, here's my question. Do we have a president? The president that they tell us is president? He's either on vacation. The other one is the VP. She's out doing campaigns. Is she ever? I mean, this is a lady that people want to be the person that runs our country for the next 4 years. And all she cares about is going out and getting votes for next month instead of taking care of a heart. I mean, if she wanted to, she might be able to win if she would just show some compassion. But see, people like her and the guy who was running before or supposed to be running now, they don't have no heart. It was ripped out of them. I mean, they have the devil in them. They're terrible. Wow. But we have Elon, who's going to get the SpaceX engineers trying to deliver Starlinks. Is this going to be the start? I don't know. Guys, I can't believe we haven't started. I believe we're really, really close. I don't say this. I don't say I believe we're really, really close just to hear myself talk. I do. As I told you earlier in this show, I did not even anticipate us being here at this time. I thought everything would be done, over. They're gone. They keep saying all of the top ones are gone. So we're getting hung up by middle class. You know, they cut us down all the time. But, I could read Judy, and there's some stuff in here, but it's all about North Carolina and, the other states. And I choose not to read all of this because I support them. I'm there for them. But it's just sad. If you're going to donate to any of these things, make sure you're donating to the right one. There's so many scams out there. There's so many people out there that's going to be very wealthy, but the people are not going to get their help. Judy, note I personally would not donate to FEMA or Red Cross because we know what they are. Wanted to make sure you knew that. Ham Radio opened Western North Carolina. If you're looking for a loved one and in NC, dial 211 or find a ham radio operator to dispatch messages. Water purification kits badly needed. I mean, it's just, I can't get off the point that they say this is a movie and they're allowing this to happen. The movie needs to be shown. People need to see it. But in closing, I'm going to talk about money a little bit. And then I'm going to let you guys go because I got to get to the post office. But in closing, they worry so much about safety when we go to the redemption centers. I started to talk about this a little bit ago, and I got on a different subject. Because they're worried that if people see my lifestyle change, like if I get the money, if Ron gets the money, and we start doing things to our house that's going to cost a lot of money to fix up, or we get a new vehicle, or we do something that we're going to spend a lot of money. We're senior citizens. We're on a fixed income. Where did you get the money? People's going to start nosing around, trying to figure out what's going on. And that's when the fear factor comes in. But see, here's the way to beat the fear factor, because all we have to do is get people, just bring people in, do all of the senior citizens and get you your money. Do the R&R and get everybody their money. And then we can do the revaluation because everybody's going to have it. They're not going to be looking. Someone that would normally try to rob somebody, they're not going to be looking at that if they got millions of dollars of their own. That's how we can make America strong. That's how we can make America great. That's how we can make America beautiful, loving, caring again. I don't want to go to a redemption center and fear for my life. Money's not worth it for me. So I didn't realize I was on this long, guys. I'm sorry that I kept you so long, but I hope you enjoyed it. I know I rambled a lot, but I do that. But I need to get to the post office and I need to get down and get some lunch in it. I want to wish everyone a great, amazing weekend. And who knows, if you can drop me a message and tell me what you feel about the way I'm doing the show now with the clarity using the laptop, because to me, it looks like it's super clear. But look at it this way: in a Saturday morning, early Saturday afternoon, you got a chance to chat with some friends and have fun and keep chatting. If you don't belong to our groups, join them. Join our Signal group. Patriots, Patriots 5 forever, or just send me an email. Paycation, Paycation 1954 @gmail.com. Send me a message and Ralph, I want to join Signal. Ralph, I want to join Telegram. Our group of Messenger. Let's all of us get together. On Telegram, on the shows, a lot of times I have 150, 160, sometimes 200 people watch the shows. All the shows together, we're averaging almost 1,000 views a show. 1,000 views a show, and we've only got like 61 people on Telegram. We should have 1,000 on Telegram. Not that I care. I'm not getting no money, guys. I'm not doing this to promote it so they'll advertise on my site and I get money. I don't want their money. But I want us all to stay together as a group so we all know. It's plain and simple. The people who get me the information, they're members of with me on Telegram, on Messenger, and on Signal. They're the ones that usually get me all my information for my shows. You can be part of that. So even if I have to cut a show short last night to help a family member, my son, even if I have to do that, you can figure out the show anyway because you can go in and read. Because I'm telling you, when you take Patriot Dana 1111, when you take Savior, when you take Ron, when you take John, when you take Michael, when you take Richard, when you take all of these people, all the stuff that they send me. And if I missed your name, I'm sorry. Janet and Linda, Mary Ann, all of this stuff, I'm getting it everywhere. You can get it too. Dear Lord, as we come to the end of the show today, thank you for bringing us together. Thank you for allowing me to have such an amazing family. Lord, look after all the children, 100% of the children and all the people going through these hectic times in the United States here through all of that bad weather, and look after all of them and keep them as safe as you possibly can. Lord, look after all of us here and take care of us here and every one of us. But most importantly, Lord, look after every child in the world, 100% of them, as we talk to you and pray to you through our Savior, your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen and amen. Have a great weekend, everyone. I'll see you Monday night, unless I see you before.